And we are live. My stupid self had my microphone muted while I was trying to talk, so that was funny. But anyway, we are live with episode 4 of Chatty Gratty, the jungle episode. Yay, woo, yeah, woo, woohoo, yeah, cheering. Hold on, wait, I gotta get out the soundboards for this one, because I don't hear any cheering and I need it. Oh yeah, let's go. All right, we got 5 special guests tonight, along with our co-host, same co-host as we had last week. You guys know me, 11. We'll get everybody in here one by one. I'm gonna bring everybody in by order of their pictures here, so you guys will know who is who. We got the Titans, the Titans. All right, so first, you guys know him, you love him or you hate him, but he's around. He quit Pred for OP, but he's here for the Pred video. We love this guy at the end of the day just because, I mean, he's kind of a riot. What can I say? It's your boy, Creshy.
What even is that intro?
I don't know, I just came up with something on the spot. How you
Yeah,
doing tonight,
yeah.
man? How you doing?
Dude, I am big chillin'. Thanks for having me to talk about jungle.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, man. Much appreciated, much appreciated. All right, now time for our
Absolutely.
next guest. Maybe you guys that might not know him, maybe you guys do know him. He's kind of a sleeper. He's been playing the game since before it was released into early access. He likes to play Chimera, Mr. Ooga Booga, just like the rest of us junglers. It's not Rebel Oasis.
Yeah. Woo.
Yo, what's
Yeah,
going
great.
on, Oasis?
It's it's going good. I'd say I'm actually surprised that I was able to make this, but thank you for having me on. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm glad you can make it and switch up your schedule. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. Anything for this. Anything for jungle, dude.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Junglers gotta stick out for each other. Alright, our third guest, our next guest. You guys know him. He streams regularly. He's a very nice dude. Unless you piss him off, then he's gonna be real pissed. Oh man, he's a Sevrog enjoyer in the jungle. We love him. It's your boy, Yay Pie! What's up, J Pie? How you doing this evening, big dog?
Hey, hey, what's up, guys? I'm so glad to join these esteemed gentlemen. Can't wait to discuss this role and see what we think and hear about your thoughts on the state of the jungle. Thanks for inviting me, guys. How are you doing?
I'm big chillin', big chillin'. I appreciate you having on the show, homie. Alright, we're
Well,
gonna get. What's up, J Pie?
I was going to say likewise.
Word, word. All right, our fourth guest. You guys better know him because he's our reigning PCC champion. He brought out the Greystone and he won and brought it all home for the boys. It's your boy, Koji Momoji, aka Nitro.
Oh, what's up?
How's it going, champ?
It's a great day to be here.
It's a great day to have you this evening, homie. I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Alright, and last but not least, this guy doesn't need any introduction, but I'm gonna give him an introduction anyway. One of the most humble kings out there in Pred. You can catch him in any role, but he's a demon in this role, just like everybody else in here. It's your boy, North.
You, what up?
What's good, North? Thanks for coming on, homie. Appreciate you.
Chilling, bro, no problem.
Alright, and then we got our special guest co-host from last week. He's coming back this week to help out your boy, PCC caster, offlane gamer. We got F6, baby!
What is up?
Thanks for coming back helping me out, F6. Appreciate that one, big dog.
Hey, anything for Gratty Daddy?
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So we gave everybody like a nice introduction, but I came up with a funny video, or at least a video that I thought was funny, and I want you guys to give me your thoughts on this video because I'm not glad. I thought this was kind of hilarious. So I need you guys to watch this one, and then you'll see why the images are what they are. It's kind of an introduction to that. So here we go. Funny video. Funny video.
The 5 most powerful titans in Greek mythology. 5. Kronos. Used to rule the old titans before Zeus killed him. He was said to be the bravest, cleverest, and most violent of all titans. 4. Hyperion was the Titan god
Is
of
Oh, I
there
got
heat,
any
heavenly
audio?
mad,
light,
dude. I
and
got
power
mad.
itself.
What the
He
heck?
was also
You got
You
an
got
ad?
that?
No, 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 ruins the video. No, why'd you get an ad? Holy. Wait, the audio's working? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to start it all over. I messed it up. I messed it up. North messed it up. Blame North. Blame North. Blame North. All right, we're starting over. We're
What
starting
the
over.
hell?
We're starting over. It's North's fault.
The
Sorry.
5 most powerful titans in Greek
You're
mythology.
demoting
5.
me.
Kronos used to rule the old titans before Zeus killed him. He was said to be the bravest, cleverest, and most violent of all titans. 4. Hyperion was the Titan god of heat, heavenly light, and power itself. He was also one of the most loyal followers of Kronos. 3. Monicius was the son of Theopotis and Clementi, known as the Titan god of rash action and violent rage. He was killed by Zeus during the Titanomachy. 2. The Apotus was the Titan god of death, and along with Clementi was said to have birthed the 4 Titans: Atlas,
no.
Prometheus, Epimetheus, and Monicius. 1. Atlas is perhaps the most well-known Titan in today's time. According to the writings, Atlas was a wise man and the founder of astronomy. As punishment for losing in the Titanomachy, Zeus condemned him to hold up the heavens on his shoulders for eternity. In another myth, he was turned into stone by Perseus, which today is depicted through the Atlas mountain range in North Africa.
All right, there we go. There's the video for you guys.
Or got his own mountain range. What
Yeah,
the heck?
Well done.
Nerf's just diff. He's diff. I know I could have made it better. I wanted to like edit out the names of the Titans with y'all's names. That would have made it even
Yeah.
more. Yeah, that would have made it funnier. But
No, that was amazing though. What the heck?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I appreciate it, guys. All right, well, now that we got that out of the way, we got the intros out of the way, we got the nice video. Let's start diving into the questions here with the boys. All right, so I'm gonna take the first couple questions and I'm gonna hand it over to F6. He's gonna have a question for you guys. So first things first. Actually, hold on, wait. I'm trolling. I need to put on the I need to put on this video. We got a beautiful JYT jungle video because you guys don't. Actually, I think JPy has one that I'm gonna pull up, but you guys don't have any jungle videos for me to pull up. You guys aren't representing for the boys. What's going on, junglers? Come on, man.
Oh, wait, we had to bring footage. I have
Yeah.
plenty.
Had to break footage.
Oh yeah, Crashy has a video too that I'm gonna play. But it's literally
Nice.
just Crashy and JPy, man. Come on,
Very
North
good.
Nitro Oasis. Where's the YouTube content, boys? Come on, do better.
Where,
Do
where
No
we
one
better.
wants to
hired.
watch Jungle. What the heck?
Do better. Anyway, we got JYT. We love JYT. He's so nice.
True.
Alright. Let me turn off the music as well. Music is done, so. Alright. First question. Who is your favorite character to play, and who do you think your best character is? We're gonna start with Oasis.
Well, I mean, most games played is easily Kai. I mean,
What a noob.
it's who I like to play more. I mean, in between Crunch or Kai, it'd probably still be Kai, to be honest. Even though I play him so much, I still enjoy it. He's a lot of fun. You can hold W whenever you really want. You kind of just win any matchup. It's just, I don't know, fun.
Word, word. Oh, we lost Mr. Yepai. Okay, he's back. Oh, he's back. Alright, so he's your favorite, and you'd say he's your best.
Yes.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, same question. Going over to North. Who is your favorite character to play in jungle, and who do you think your best character is?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I haven't. I'd have to say Clary actually. She was a lot of fun before nerfs. Best would probably have to be either maybe Crunch or Severog. I don't know.
Valid, valid. Alright. So favorite and best, two completely different. I've actually got three completely different answers, so that's awesome. Alright. Big Nitro, PCC champion. Who
You know,
is your favorite character to play, and who do you think your best character is in the jungle?
favorite's probably Richter. My best probably Greystone, but I think Greystone only works with profs.
Okay. Valid, valid. Alright, Mr. Crashy. Who is your favorite
Yeah,
character to play, and then who do you think your best character is?
I'm doubling down on the double Kai pick here. Kai is fucking sick. He's like the first jungler I started playing, so like for all intents and purposes, like the first like Paragon hero I ever really started playing. Because he's just kind of like the jungle hero, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't like double in many other roles, and I think that's also why I liked Rampage so much early on too, because they were just true junglers. They didn't really have much of an identity in lane, and they're just I don't know, they kind of command attention. So Kai for sure.
Yeah, Chimera lovers rejoice.
Booga booga.
We love Kai. Turn brain off. Hold W key. Swing axes. We
Yes.
love. We love.
Yes.
All right, Mr. J Pie. Last but not least, who is your favorite character, and who do you think your best character is?
My favorite is probably Richter, and I think my best is Severog.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Good answers, everybody. Thank you so much. All right. Now on to another question about characters, and this one could be the same, this one could be different. We'll see how the answers go for this one. But we're going to start back with J Pie on this one. And this question is going to be, what character do you think has the best carry potential in the jungle?
That's easy, Sarath. She can just pot, like if she just gets a lead, she starts to snowball, and then she's basically in the driver's seat when it comes to she has a target and she's starting to approach the target, put pressure, dive. Especially like she can dive better than any other character in the game. And once she starts to get a lead and build on that lead, it is so incredibly difficult to try to stifle and slow her down because she's not only has like mid game to late game like some of the quickest jungle clear in the game. She's also one of the most mobile characters in the game. So when it comes to stealing the enemy jungle, she is one of the best at it because it's like if you're at two camp, you can just nearly instantly delete it mid game and then just fly out for free. And all it takes is like you as the opposing jungler, you have like 10 seconds to react no matter where you are on the map, or your camp is gone. And against the competent Serath, it's going to be gone often. So I think she has the highest carry potential. I also think she has the best comeback potential too. If she starts slow, so you can never counter out. And then of course she like just to boot late game. Hey, say you have a team fight and you're the only survivor as Seraph, just go in solo or prime. Go solo Primal Fangtooth. She can do it no problem.
What?
Nice. Nice. Okay, so Sarath, first answer from all the handsome jungle boys. That was Mr. Yepai. All right, we're going to move on to Crashy. Same question. Who do you think has the best carry potential in the jungle?
So I'm gonna stick with my arena, which is like Ooga Booga solo queue, and I just think like even though she's not that great lately, it's like Kalari, because Kalari just has like such a particular play style where if you can get ahead on Kalari, you can just literally remove the enemy jungler from the game, and if you do that and your laners are able to like have a solid lane while you're impacting them with ganks that are pretty damn hard for them to stop just because of the stealth, then she can take over. Now, competitively, I think it's in a completely different way, but like Kalari can like win the game by like 8 to 10 minutes, it feels like. And if you fall behind on her, then she's not entirely useless either. So I think that her curve, like her like getting fed curve, is like a huge spike upwards, and then it kind of slowly tapers down. But I think that gives her a lot of potential to just hard carry a game. I also think Kai's like a solid one too because he's just like good at like every stage of the game. But yeah, I'm gonna lean in with some Kalari because I kind of have always just had this feeling like if I'm having like a rough night of games, I just jump on a Kalari game, get a free win real quick, and then kind of go back to playing like other heroes.
All right, so far we got Sarath, we got Kalari. All right, Nitro, best carry character in the jungle. What do you think?
Uh, my answer is probably going to be not that great, but I'm going to say Severog, just because I feel like he just pumps out everything that you want. And I don't know, for me, at least in my experience, it's really hard to fall out so behind a set where you're useless. And I don't know, I feel like he does so much. Like, I hate assassins just because if you're into a tank comp, I feel like they can't carry unless you're like big ahead. But Severog, I feel like just does well in everything, depending on how you play.
Okay, valid. That's three differing perspectives already. I like it. I like the discussion. That's nice. All right, North, best carry character out of the jungle in your opinion. Who's it gonna be?
Uh, Honestly, it's just whatever you're comfortable on. I think you can carry on anything in the jungle right now because the role is just really strong since the recent changes. But for me, I think Dareth and Feng Mao feel really good just to carry your game because they have mobility, you can farm at every point in the game. Feng Mao, you can just stack Mind Razor and have Pain Weaver and run around the map and farm everything. Sereth, you can just like JPI said, you can pretty much just dominate a team fight from behind, like regardless of the stage in the game if you get a couple resets.
Okay. All right. And then last but not least, Mr. Oasis. Who do you think has the best carry potential in the jungle role, character-wise?
Yeah, I'd have to say that it's probably Feng Mao and Kalari, both assassins. It feels like that they can just do almost anything, even early game. They can just get themselves ahead fairly easily, especially in casuals. In casual games, I feel like games that don't last that long, Feng Mao and Kalari will just run a game as soon as they get ahead. And yeah, Feng Mao's just building Pain Weaver, and he's just zooming across the map, and it's kind of hard to stop him. He's just everywhere.
All right, fair enough. I mean, we got pretty much every jungle character was named outside of a few, so it sounds like the jungle pool right now is pretty diverse in what you can play and what you have the potential to carry with, so that is always good to hear. And then also the differing answers just tells us we have different playstyles here with our junglers too, so that's also pretty awesome. Different ways to approach the same game. All right, Mr. F6, that was my two questions. Let's hear what you got.
What is up? So this one is a little bit more on the tactics side of things and decision making. So I know for a lot of people, it's really hard for junglers, like especially the newer people or the people that are not quite as familiar with it. But what are your ideal scenarios to go invade, right? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know when to, or like what's the reasoning behind it, and like what the criteria is for you guys to invade.
This is open
You know,
discussion, or you want
Open
to ask someone?
discussion?
It's open discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, one of the easiest things would be just seeing the jungler on the opposite side of the map, right? Well, sorry, you have to be tracking, I guess. Let's see. I mean, whenever I do see the jungler on the other side of the map, I'll at least peek in, see, get timers, stuff like that for jungle camps, knowing whenever I can actually go in there and try and steal something. When a jungler's spending a lot of time just on one side of the map, then that's also another way to know that you can just be over there for free.
yeah, I think
For me, I'd oh no, go on.
Okay, okay, my bad. I said I think I'll take this topic for the sake of like a teaching moment. I'll take this answer in a way that's like a little bit rudimentary to say kind of like that this is the basics of learning to track, right? Like knowing when to invade. I could say like, oh, when you see the jungle on the other side, or like if you know his red's coming up, but it's like the role is about gaining information. And so learning to track is like the first most important thing, like thinking about where they started, having the opportunity to spend a little bit of time to go get their timers, and then using that information that you just got to then influence your future rotations. So, like if you're starting red and they're a jungler that most likely starts red, then there, you've already tracked them just to begin with. Now they may do some weird shit, but at least you have that basis kicking off point. So learning to track is what kind of gives you the first step into knowing when to invade.
Yeah, like Crashy said, I think it's the way I'd like to do it in casuals is just buff timers. If you're just playing a character stronger than the other guy, you just run in and kill him on his buff. Uh, Other than that, it's yeah, if they're committing a lot of time to one side of the map, you just run into their other side.
All right, good.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else they'd like to add?
No, if you know they're forcing an objective, like say your duo lane dies, they go to Fang, go take their whole red side or their whole blue side. Like find the trade, right? Because that's important. Because sometimes like if you lose someone, your mid lane gets chunked super hard. You know they're gonna collapse on the objective and they have numbers. Like it may not be worth to go try to contest it and to dance them and then to just end up getting nothing and or losing more kills. It's more worth it just to say, you know what, I'm not getting anything out of this. That sucks. It is what it is. Let me go take 3 camps.
True.
It's also good to like watch lane states, right? Like if you have a strong laner to play around, you can go, yeah, I want to skirmish with this guy, and you can just force something on that side of the map with him.
Yeah, I think with also I just want to add on to with the lane states, if the lanes have priority. I mean, the reality though, if you're playing casual queue, and even if you have lane priority and you're invading, there's a if it's just players you don't know, they may not come and help. But generally, the higher level players in the game, the more often they'll be aware. Okay, they have priority. The jungler is invading for the 3 camp or blue, maybe even blue, and if he gets in some hot water, they'll recognize that and immediately bail him out. But I think that's the correct play. However, in reality, it's much different. There's people who are newer. They're just focused. They're just like all they are aware of are the couple minions in front of them in the tower, and they don't see the mini map, and you at 3 camp getting stunned and pulled by Richter and all. You know what I mean? But that's the correct play, I feel. But definitely, it allows you to invade with less risk because you can get bailed out, and it's a greater advantage for the characters that struggle with mobility, that don't have like a great escape, like maybe Richter. You could look for that because like you can take the riskier invades with more mobile characters, but if you're a big boy that's slow, that's like it should be a decent time to invade.
All right, valid, valid. Does anybody else have anything quick they want to add to the discussion, or should we move on?
If you win any 2v2 skirmish on that same side of the map, and like maybe they just came to lane, the jungle could be up on that same side, super free. If they die, I mean that's pretty simple, but I don't think it was mentioned.
I mean, simple or
It
not,
counts.
different
Yeah.
different approaches are always good to hear. So it sounds like at the end of the day, we got some different approaches, different ways to handle situations. But at the end of the day, seems like the message was the same as a jungler, and this kind of goes for all roles, but jungle especially. Always be productive. Whatever you're doing on the map,
Mhm.
make sure that it is productive. So good answers,
That's
everybody.
true. But what do you guys feel about this? Do you think that it's different, like as a jungler? Because the way that I kind of interpret it in my mind is that when you're jungling, you're kind of doing a coin flip, right? You're saying, I'm going to invest the next 30 seconds into my time doing this, hoping to get a benefit. And the interesting dynamic that jungle brings to the table is that the opposing jungler does the same thing. Now, say you gank and you get a kill, awesome. But the enemy jungler gets 2 kills for a gank. You technically misplayed. I mean, yeah, you got a benefit, but he made the better play, and you're behind.
I wouldn't
And
I wouldn't say you misplayed.
I
I
don't
would say
know.
like
But yeah, what about the
your
laners? Yeah,
teammates gave
I was
them
gonna.
that play. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's gonna happen, right? And then you
Mhm.
just have to recognize that like, and this is more about the game in general. Like if one lane is losing, this is one of my least favorite things about being jungle. If one lane's losing, they expect you to come bail them out when in reality we just need them to hang on so we can find our win condition somewhere else. And
So
so
true.
like if I make a gank and I get 1 kill and he makes a gank and he gets 2 kills, like, oh shucks, that sucks, but it's not over, right? And it's less about me making a misplay, but more about, hey, look, I made a play. I'm happy with the time I spent and the trade that I got out of it, but I still have work to be done.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good discussion, boys. All right, so now we talked a little bit about some strategy and some approaches. Now I have another question that I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to ask each of you individually to see if we have varying answers or if we have, a pretty similar answer across the board. But we're going to start here with North, actually, and this question is going to be, what is the most common mistake that you see other players make while playing jungle?
Spending too much time in a lost lane, I would have to say. A lot of the time you see somebody just keep running back to the same. It happens a lot with soul laners. Like they just repeat gank soul lane and keep feeding the guy. It's kind of a pet peeve. Other than that, just not understanding when to force objectives. There's a lot of misplay that happens around the Fangtooth when a lot of people don't understand that a lot of the time it's just more beneficial to keep farming, wait for somebody to overcommit, and just, like take mini prime even.
Valid, valid. All right, thank you for the answer. All right, Nitro, same answer goes to you. What's the most common mistake that you see other junglers make?
Overcommitting on early invading. I think it's fake. Me personally, you can say what you want about it, but I think early invading, like level 1 through 6, is a waste of time,
That's
and I
volatile.
think people get punished on it way too much.
Could you elaborate on that, like why you think it's a waste of time?
Well, from my personal experience in scrims and PCC, every time like level 3, I'll get my red buff taken, but 5 minutes later, I'm still the same level or a level up because I know how to catch XP somewhere else. But that's also another thing. I don't see other junglers taking waves when people back. No one, or I guess not majority of people don't take waves under towers when their mid laners backing, dual lane, solo lane, etc. They also don't help shove the waves, which I think is really important in terms of micro/macro, whatever, that a lot of junglers might not do.
All right, so we got wasting time, we got wasting resources. All right, and now Oasis, same question's gonna go to you now. What is the most common mistake that you see other junglers making?
Yeah, actually, I'd have to agree with the lane states. Like, watching a jungler just, I don't know, gank someone, then just leave. Maybe they get the kill, maybe they don't, but they're not helping the lane state of their laner. They're not helping them shove, they're not helping them back, they're not helping them get stronger so they can actually self-sustain themselves. Self-sustain. Another thing would be actually just not catching waves that are just crashing under tower and you're taking like half damage. There's like 2 waves under tower right next to them in mid lane. They'll be on 4 camp instead of just catching the wave because their mid laner just died or something, or just backed at a bad time. Like, junglers are allowed to grab that stuff. I mean, no one else is getting it. It's just XP going to waste. You probably need it.
All right, valid, valid. And now on to Mr. Crashy. What is the most common mistake that you see other junglers making?
Not recognizing that you need to be selfish. Like like the jungler is the quarterback and the carry is like the wide receiver or the running back. Like, you absolutely have a responsibility to your team to take almost fucking everything. Like, take all of your farm, quit sitting in lanes all the time. If a wave is crashing, take it. When you do show up, recognize that your laner should pay the tax and take a little bit of farm when you're walking away. And so don't be a bad teammate, be a really good teammate by being selfish. Like, you are absolutely in the driver's seat. If you're super, super weak, it doesn't matter what happens because you're the person that has the smite, and your teammates are not going to be able to put you on your on their shoulders. Like, being selfish as a jungler is so damn important, and it's important for laners to understand that like concept too. Like, we can't just sit in a lane forever. Like, you got to hold it down in lane, and you have to recognize that we are going to get strong, and we're going to come and help, and we're going to have big impact throughout the game. So be selfish.
Okay, fair enough. And then last but not least, Mr. J Pie. What's the most common mistake that you see other junglers making?
I want to say a lot of things, but I'm trying to single out maybe like the most impactful one, because I want to say 5 different things, but I'll just say this. Uh, Constantly assess and understand what your win conditions are and do everything you can to facilitate their success, because it can change in the middle of a match. You can have, when you're starting a match, you could think, okay, we have a Belka mid lane. That's a win condition at that point. But then you see the mid, they can't carry. You got to just cut your losses, not invest time, and dedicate your jungle body to the lanes that can win you the game. And this is something that's easier said than done for newer players, because sometimes you have to be an asshole. You have to ignore the lane calling for help. Just because you need help doesn't mean that you deserve to receive it. And I know that sounds terrible, but you can pat yourself on the back all you want when you lose. That's fine. Yeah, you helped out everybody equally. You equally distributed ganks throughout all 3 lanes. Good job. That doesn't make you a good jungler. It's an altruistic mindset that is actually detrimental to your success. And one thing though that I want to add as a caveat is try to be kind to people and help them understand, because a lot of people are newer and we're going to have a huge influx of players soon that are not going to understand this. And so when I'm in the game and, like, for example, if I have a Narbash solo lane and he's struggling against the Grux, but I have other lanes that it's like a Gideon mid, like, better heroes. Guess what? I understand you're struggling, Narbash, and I wish I can help you, but I got to make sure these other boys get up and rolling. That way we can win. Because, like, we as junglers, we want to help everybody, but you have to be selective, because your time is very impactful, and if you choose the wrong lanes, you will lose. So I think that's a very easy mistake to make. Some junglers, they just think that they are roaming the map, like they're going through their rotation. Oh, they're clearing red side, and then they think, okay, I'll try to just throw a gank here and a gank there, and it'll just kind of be like without an overall strategy and game plan. And that game plan should always revert back to the core concept, which is what's the win conditions at this moment. And just for the icing on the cake, also recognize the enemy's win conditions and stifle their win conditions as much as you can.
All right, fair enough. So, got some similar answers, some different answers. Nice to hear the different perspectives and the different common mistakes that we're seeing other junglers make. Now, going along with that topic, and you can piggyback off of a previous answer that you made or someone else had if you'd like to. But one thing that we want to have, since we want to keep this educational, is if you had someone come to you and say, hey man, I'm struggling as a jungler, losing a lot of games. I keep falling behind. I can't seem to carry coming out of the jungle, or I can't seem to pull my weight at the very least. Just as general advice, not looking at their gameplay or anything, what is a tip that you would give to someone if they asked you how they could become a better jungler? And I'm gonna start with Oasis on this one.
Generally, I mean, I know what I did was just watch videos, honestly, of like challengers in League, whatever high rank in Dota, stuff like that. I mean, it's general MOBA knowledge at the end of the day, so you have a bunch of resources. It's not just pred. It's they transcend games being a good jungler essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So watch League videos on jungling, you'd say?
Yeah, well, I mean, streamers as well, right? I mean, they're going to be telling you in real time. Sometimes they'll be telling you what they're thinking, what they're looking at, what's going on in their head, peeking around in their brain a little bit.
And for
You
those,
Can I
want to try and
add to
absorb
that?
as much knowledge as you can. Yeah.
uh, once,
Just yeah, I just want to add a little bit to that because somebody touched upon it before with the wave states. Like
Yes.
you can completely fuck up a lane if you like come there and just react properly. Actually, North taught me this because wait, wasn't no, it was, I'm sorry, not North. I learned a little bit from North about this. I asked him, I picked his brain about it. Seismic, he cried to me because I allowed the enemy laner a free freeze because of my stupid reaction to the wave. So
Hmm.
one thing I want to say to piggyback off of what Oasis said, for anybody that's listening is, if you're not already aware, the jungle structure in both League and Predecessor is pretty identical. Now, I don't mean like the layout on the map. The layout on the map, of course, is different, and the spacing of the camps is a little bit different. But the structure of the camps, there being three camps on either side of you, is pretty much identical. So using similar concepts from League, they definitely can transfer fairly well over to Predecessor. So good answer. And now moving on to Crashy. If you had to give
All
someone
right.
general advice on how to become a better jungler, what would it be?
I've got two-ish kind of answers, and I'm actually going to piggyback off of the same thing y'all are talking about. So specifically, I like to watch Verkayu. Verkayu is a League of Legends like jungle coach, and
Yeah.
I haven't played League of Legends for 8 years. Seriously, like I haven't touched League of Legends. I don't know anything about the game, but the MOBA knowledge, like MOBAs. The themes and the concept of what is going on the map, it really does carry throughout most MOBAs. I'd say there's like a couple that it really doesn't hit. So whenever I see him post just a video that seems interesting to me in title, I watch it. And he's jungle focused, so I don't even have to sift
Yep.
through all of his content to find the topics that are good for me. I watch League videos that don't touch the game, so I think it's a really really great topic. Now, if someone was coming to me and asking about jungle, and I knew they were super new to jungle, this is absolutely what I would recommend. Don't worry about ganking at all. Just start by farming. Start by farming and slowly, gradually over time, throw in a gank. Throw in a gank. Because there's really nothing wrong with just guaranteeing that you're going to stay like in the game and keep yourself farmed up. But I would say eventually there will be something wrong with not ever helping your team. So start just by farming. Get yourself at like a really high CS per minute count. Like start getting yourself comfortable with just full clearing, and then you respawn, full clear, respawn, full clear, and then slowly start throwing in a gank. Start making your presence a little bit more and more, reactionary to what's actually going on in the map, as opposed to just your respawn timer. So that absolutely will give at least a starting point for a jungler to be successful, because they won't accidentally fall behind. But an easy mistake that people make is they think that they have to be in lane so much. They think that they need to be helping their team because they're the jungler. That's your role. No, not really. Like you need to be building, and so doing that takes farming. So start off with farming. Watch some League of Legends videos. Like I said, Verkayu is a really good one. And yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right. Good tips, good tips. Moving on to J Pie. What's some good general advice that you would give to someone that's asking you how to become a better jungler?
Uh, the the only way that I can really do that is to see their gameplay, because you could be making mistakes in so many different ways. You could be doing one thing extremely well and something else extremely poorly. That's just basically equivalent to taking a shotgun and shooting yourself in the foot. However, just for the sake of trying to give an answer to the question, I think that you have to always be acting with intention and purpose. You have to always have a game plan and a goal in mind, and you always have to adapt to whatever the situation brings forth in front of you. So, for example, just as a very easy, obvious example, right? You're going to your blue side to clear your blue side. You're in the middle of taking your fort camp, and then all of a sudden, your solo laner is in hot water and he's in danger. You cannot be afraid of just dropping the fort camp. I know it sucks. I know it feels bad, but you like saving your teammates' lives is infinitely better and more valuable than 4 meager jungle minions. And as another just caveat to this example, right? Say you're at your fort camp, and then you cleared it, right? It's a different path, right? It unfolded differently. You cleared your fort camp, and now you're on blue, and you see the enemy jungler and maybe the dual lane, like they're leaving their lane, and you kind of see them going towards Fangtooth. As a jungler, that's your responsibility. Map objectives are you are the tyrant that is supposed to secure jungle objectives. And if you allow that as a jungler, it's your fault. So if I'm on the blue buff and I see them kind of like moving towards Fangtooth, I gotta get to Fangtooth ASAP and do everything that I can to try and allow my team to secure that objective instead of the enemy team. And it's kind of like, to tie everything together, you have to have a game plan. Jungle is not just like you're casually just taking a walk through jungle. You clear camp here, you clear camp there, and then you gank this lane because you're close to it. No, sometimes, and this is I actually have Norp. I actually watched some of your replays, and like, so because I watch a lot of your guys' replays. Actually, I like to try to contrast my own style with yours, and sometimes like you got like some people will do this kind of bizarre pathing. Like they'll fully clear their blue, like go and take 2 camp, and then something clicks in their brain where they go back to blue side and gank solo lane and get the kill, and then do something. Like there are things like that. You also have to have unpredictability as a jungler. Like the enemy team, every single time you roll up, they should be shitting their pants. They should be thinking to themselves, "Oh fuck, here he is. I hate this guy." You got to bring fear to the table. You got to bring dominance. You have to bring that as a jungler. You set the tone for that. And but also, like, I just want to say, if you're a Sevarog, you're not going to be bringing that early game, and not everybody understands that. So that also plays into it. And just keep that in mind. Have an overall game plan, and hopefully your team can facilitate that, and you can facilitate your team's success as well.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, moving on over to Mr. Champ Nitro. What's some general advice that you would give to someone asking you how they can become a better jungler?
I mean, for the most part, I feel like everything's already been said, but I think getting a basic understanding of how MOBAs work, or I guess Pred works, if you don't want to be super specific, um, is a good start, especially just knowing like, hey, if dude's low in lane and I'm on a 3 camp, maybe I should go get the kill instead. I know we've already talked about that, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Ganking versus farming.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
a
watching your own
classic.
VODs, because like when I say understand the fundamentals, you can't really learn much from VODs if you don't know what mistakes you're making. So I don't really have much input because you guys already said everything. So
You
I
can
guess
always
that's
Right.
my
you can
answer.
always reiterate. There's nothing wrong with reiterating. But if that's all
Yeah.
you got,
Yeah.
we'll move on over to North. All right, Mr. North, what is some general advice that you would give to someone who's asking you how to become a better jungler?
I would say to pick a few characters, like let's say 2 or 3, and really grind them and start understanding like their limits and like what you can do with them, like what are their item spikes, when are they strong, what you can get away with, like mechanics, etc. And then just keep going from there. Cause I mean, like it's easier when you're not like fumbling over what your character is doing, right? Like it's easier to learn the role. So that's what I'd say.
All right, fair enough. Mr. F6, you've been a little quiet. I hope you got a couple of questions for us because I'm gonna give you two back to back, and they can be
Give me
directly.
two.
You get two back to back bangers. So I need some good questions coming out of you, Mr. F6.
All right, I got you, buddy. I've just been here chilling, relaxing. But my first question is going to be, this one's, we'll go with the first one, open discussion. When it comes to itemization, when do you decide to build a more tankier character versus like a burstier build when inside the jungle?
Your team comp versus their team comp. Like, what do you need? That's the beauty of
Yeah.
some of these characters is that, like Kai, for example, one of my favorite things about him is that you can actually nearly play him full tank. You can
Yep.
build him with carry items. You can build him full HP bruiser. Like it just depends on like the curve of strength that you need and like what does your team comp have. So you look at the enemy team comp, you see a Steel Richter, you see your team comp, you have a Zarus off lane and like a Decker. Yeah, you probably want to go a little tanky that game because you don't really have much of a front line and like, yeah, sure, maybe you won't be the number one person carrying and getting a ton of kills, but you're actually assisting your team through that. So assess your team comp and the hero that you have, know what they are capable of, because you're playing Kalari, that doesn't apply, right? You're not going to build full tank Kalari. So assess the character you're playing versus your team comp versus their team comp.
To add on to that, actually, I would say usually, say, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes into the game, 15 minutes into the game, you'll probably know what lanes have been winning, what lanes have been losing, how they play. If they're just trolling, running it down. I mean, if you can figure out the win condition on your team and on the enemy team and be able to like build around that, say ADC is just fully, I don't know, they're fully fed out of their mind, just holding W at anyone they see and just running it, then it's probably in your best interest to actually get a Stonewall, get a Warden's Faith, Being able to know what's happening in the game itself is also another way that I decide what I'm going to build, usually.
Okay.
This one's all you,
Anybody
Steve.
else?
So direct the flow,
Sometimes I
puppy.
feel like it's how fed you are as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
If I am the win condition, then yes, I would love to build funny fighter items, especially since Kai can build almost anything and just get away with it.
Yeah, for sure. You can like start off with the intent to go tank. Like if you assume the
Yep.
game's going to be really neutral, you start off with the intent to go tank, and then you say, you know what, fuck this. I think I'm actually just going to build like 2 damage items, and then I'll reassess again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. So when it comes to one of the big things is for the jungler is you have the smite, right? So you have to secure these objectives, and that's the like big advantage of having the jungler, right? So I know a lot of people are like, oh man, we missed out on like one Fangtooth or we missed out on 2 Fang-Tooths now. What do we do? Like, what are you guys' like general consensus of like when you guys are doing neutral objectives versus farming? Because I know a lot of times some junglers are like, you know what, we'll give up this first Fang-Tooth. We don't necessarily need it right now, and we'll go for mini prime. But there's also some junglers that are like, hey, we actually need to just start stacking these right away. So like, where is that decision making coming from?
Is it open discussion, or are you
Anybody?
directing
Anybody?
it?
I'll
Sure.
specifically take my time with this one.
I feel like it depends how hard I'm winning or losing.
I mean,
it
Is-
like it depends on the lane, right? Like the side lane, like if your side lane's strong and you can just get the objective without risk, like yeah, sure. But like usually in solo queue, like I'm never gonna pull an objective just like that, right? Like I'm
Real.
just gonna farm and like trade the other objective if they go for that.
Objectives don't matter.
Objectives don't
I feel like
Definitely not in
I feel
solo
like
queue.
Elder.
Definitely not in solo queue.
Yeah.
You can
It's all
100%
about
just
team
win a
fighting.
game in solo queue by just farming and being opportunistic.
mhm.
So my
But
answer is that like I feel like I used to be a really Fang-Tooth like pressuring jungler. Like I love to be on time, grab 3 of them, and win the game because I get that benefit and I can spread it across the team. But ever since the jungle changes, there's just way too much farming experience. Like I don't give a shit about the first 2 Fang-Tooths at all. They can go 2-0 on the Fang-Tooths, and it doesn't matter to me until they're encroaching, getting an 8% buff, and then I'll absolutely show up.
Facts.
So yeah, there's
Yep.
so much farming experience that if you know that you can almost just by being a better jungler, you know that you can guarantee like a 2-level lead over the enemy jungler, and they're gonna take 2 Fangtooths. Like yeah, cool, move a little bit faster and make your buffs last longer. Like I don't care until I am at risk of losing that 8% permanent stat buff. Then I don't care about Fangtooths. I'll show up whenever I'm 2 levels up on your jungle, and then we win. You know, we give you 2 Fangtooths, we win everything else after that.
Fair enough. Anybody else want to add to
No.
that?
It also depends on the junglers themselves. Each jungler matchup has kind of a different relationship to the objectives, and so if I'm a countess going against a chimera, I am always worried about Fangtooth. After 5 minutes, once it spawns, I am always having Fangtooth in mind, trying to drop a ward or asking teammates to drop a ward. And each jungle matchup, it has a kind of different relationship, different strengths, weaknesses, state like parts of the game where they are dominant during these objectives, because it's like it dictates a lot, and I mean you can quite literally get a free Fangtooth because of something like that, like a countess into a chimera. A countess cannot do anything. She cannot. She literally has no kind of threat on Fangtooth early to mid game because she can't tank Fangtooth. She is fragile and she just gets damaged so much that if you were a chimera and a countess started a Fangtooth, all she basically did was just to set up her team for failure, provided that like the teams are somewhat even and even skill level, because if her team is farmed, then that sucks. Your team, you're just going to have to give up the objective. But my point remains, those relationships from jungler against jungler, they do dictate what is available on the table for the junglers to take.
All right.
Mm,
Fair enough.
I would still feel like it's more side lane heavy though. No, I mean if I have a crunch that's level 6 while the enemy off lane is just level 5, that's free mini, is it not? If I know I'm ahead too, I mean, I don't know. It's also the same with forcing fights, right? If you know that you can just win a fight, then you can just take that objective on that side of the map. No, it doesn't really have to. I don't think it's as matchup dependent as you're making it out to be, but I mean it is still there. Like that is still a thing. Yes, I just think that it's
Yeah,
how
what I'm
ahead your
saying is
laners can be, your side laners
yeah.
can be.
Well, yeah, you're right. What I'm saying is it influences the situation, but it's not the be all end all, because it's like you're right. If you have a dual lane that's like 5-0 collectively against the enemy dual lane, you're like 0-2 as a jungler, chances are you guys have the advantage when taking a Fangtooth, just because the enemy, like your duo, is so far ahead. And I mean there can be any number of variations, but you're right. Yeah, the jungle matchup. The thing is this: the jungle matchup is just an influence on that situation, and I think
Yeah.
people should try to take advantage of that more often.
Mm.
In a competitive environment, it's obviously like you're like with things that you're saying, it takes a different state, but I'm just trying to speak on like overall general, both competitive and casual.
Fair enough. Oh,
I get it.
yeah. Oh, am I muted? Oh man, I was muted. Oh, holy, I was muted in my own Discord. What the heck? Anyway, fair enough. Fair enough. So appreciate all the answers. Good questions, F6. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, I have another question that I would like to ask real quick. Give me a second. This one's actually going to get a little bit more personal, so I want you guys, this is me asking you guys about you, and let's keep this kind of short, sweet, to the point, but you can elaborate on it a little bit if you would like to. But we're going to start with North, and we're talking playstyle here. And do you prefer to be more active or reactive?
In it depends. Like in comp or solo queue. In solo queue, I'm definitely more reactive. Farming in comp, I like to be active.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So, Mr. Competitive, super active. He wants to make the plays, and then in a solo queue environment, he's gonna let you make the mistakes, and he's just gonna punish you for them. Sounds good. All right, Oasis, same question goes to you. Playstyle wise, do you like to be more active or reactive as a jungler?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I mean, I play Kai, but I would still rather be reactive. I usually just like farming, seeing enemies make mistakes, and then just capitalizing on them. It makes the game way easier if you can just see someone do something stupid and then just capitalize on it.
All right, so we like Ooga Booga, but we also like to be calculated with our Ooga Booga. I like it. All
Yeah,
right,
a little bit of a, a character shift. Sorry.
no, that's fair. That's fair. All right, Nitro, PCC champion. Listen up, guys. He won the last PCC, so you got to listen to what he has to say.
Alright.
What would you consider your playstyle? Do you like to be more active or do you like to be more reactive as a jungler?
Probably more reactive unconsciously, but if I want my team to, if I want something specific to win, I'll be active on their side.
All right. And then in terms of since we're reactive, in terms of river buffs, mid laner asks us to come to river buff, we're just gonna be like,
Fuck him.
yeah, we don't like river buffs. We don't care. All right, Crashy. Would you like to be more
Yeah.
active or more reactive as a jungler?
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. I want to be. I
Oh.
want to be proactive. I want. And here's the thing, that doesn't mean I'm just constantly ganking. It means that everything that I do has the intention of being proactive. Like if I'm farming, I'm gonna be farming on your side of the jungle, and you're gonna like step into your red and be like, "What the fuck? Like, why is this dude always in my fucking jungle?" Like, I'm gonna like I try to make the jungle presence known. So I like to be very proactive. Like I want to be the one that's pulling the objectives whenever I feel like it's the right time. I think it comes with like a lot of knowledge to try to play that way though, because if you're playing proactive without like the chops to do it, then you allow them to make the reactive plays. And I also think that that's a very solo queue thing too. I think being proactive, you can't really force being proactive in competitive because that forces mistakes. But in solo queue, there's that like slight disconnect where not everybody's on the same page and people can't actually be as adequately reactive as they could if they were in full comms. So I like to be aggressive and proactive.
All right, fair enough. And then last but not least, Mr. J Pie.
Show me what you got.
How would you say you are? Do you like to be active or reactive as a jungler?
Yeah, I'm all about being proactive because I think that is, for me, one of the fundamentals of jungling is securing objectives. And there's a world of difference between the team that is proactive and they see that Fangtooth is going to be up in 30 seconds, so they drop wards all around and they clear wards all around and they're prepared, as opposed to the team that is just, oh, Fangtooth's up, let's go over and see what's happening. And then they walk into all those wards. So I'm all about being proactive.
All right, fair enough. A lot of proactivity, not a whole lot of reactivity, but both of them have their time and their place. So awesome, awesome. All right, do you have one more question for us, Mr. F6?
I do. This one out here is to people always wonder why the hell jungler's not ganking, right? So what is the criteria that you guys are looking for to gank a lane if you're on that side, et cetera, et cetera?
Open discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I
CC.
think this is my favorite thing to try to tell laners. I think that laners kind of sometimes are missing the plot on what their role is. I think that it feels like your job is to win the lane and to dominate the lane, but it's not. Your job is to be relevant to the game and not to feed. So my criteria is please just don't be feeding. If you're neutral, I'll come help you. If you're winning, I'll come help you. I'll help you stomp the lane. But if you're feeding, I'm never coming to help you because I can't rely on you. I can't guarantee my self strength. I can't help the team. So yeah, that's my criteria.
I think CC setup, like, is it guaranteed? Is it easy to hit?
Yeah.
Like Phase Richter, that's like the freest. I'm coming every day of the week. Yeah.
All right, anybody else? Like, what's the criteria that you guys look for when you're looking for a gank?
I mean,
What can that laner offer me? Like, are they a scaling character? Are they gonna help me pressure the map? Are they just better than their lane opponent? Can they snowball their lead? Like, it just really depends on the laner.
if I have Tekken Kid on my team, I'll be ganking him.
Yeah, true.
Make him
Against
play
me
the game
too.
for
Either
me.
way, you know.
True.
All right.
Is there like anything relevant to like the positioning they're in as well, or is it just like based off of what they can offer you guys?
I mean, it
I
should
mean, if
always
they're
be
under their
based
tower.
on what they can offer because we have to trade, right? Like going to a lane is a trade in itself, so it should definitely be based on what they can offer. But oftentimes, like especially for people that complain and whine about not getting ganks, it's like how often are they actually setting up ganks for us, right? Like how often are they actually playing their wave state to get ganked? I often feel like the really inexperienced players just don't. They expect the gank to come, but then they always want to push up, or they're always dead, or they're always feeding, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's definitely about what they can offer us.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Good answers all across the board. Very informative. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the question, F6. All right,
Yeah,
so
wait.
oh,
I
go ahead.
no. Actually, let's just move on to the next
No,
question.
if you got something, feel free to add it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you see Gratty like in solo or mid, free.
Oh.
Oh,
No,
you
I'm
say,
just.
dang, that's messed. Apparently I'm Freelo. You guys see me on the enemy team? Come spam
No,
gank
I'm
my
just
lane.
playing.
Freelo.
I'm just playing.
All right, so I have a kind of a nice little fun question, and then I have a question that we gotta end the show with because I gotta ask this one every week just to be fair to all the roles. But first, what is your favorite matchup to play in the jungle? And we're talking hero versus hero, jungle v jungle, and we're gonna start with Nitro on that one.
Favorite matchup?
hmm Like what character you
Mm,
want to play into another character? Your favorite
I
matchup.
love playing Grayson and Chimera. That's
Okay.
my favorite.
All right. Fair enough. And then why is that?
I just don't feel like Chimera can ever kill you, and I feel like you do too much damage to him.
All right. So you would say it's a favorable matchup for the Greystone?
Yeah, especially once you hit 6, like you just don't ever die to him.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Crashy, what is your favorite matchup to play hero versus hero in the jungle?
Gosh, I've actually never had to think about this before. It's probably Chimera into something. Probably Chimera into like an assassin. So I'd say like Shinbi Fang, Countess, like someone that I think like they can't really deal with him early, so you can just invade, and if people don't help, then they're just kind of screwed off of at least like a camper more. So yeah, I really like playing off the Kai be strong in 1v1s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with that. I mean, kinda Kalari, kinda Fang. It's just like it feels unplayable for them, and I guess it's fun for me. I just know they can't really do anything unless they just don't interact with me, and they're always playing opposite side of the map. But it's still fun. If I see them, they're dead. That's all it is.
Fair enough. So you're just piggybacking off of Crash. You have a pretty similar
Yeah.
answer. All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
Mhm.
All right, North.
fucking Kai players.
Yeah.
North, what's your
Uh,
favorite matchup to play in the jungle?
I don't know if I've ever thought about it honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
mm, I don't know. Maybe crunch into Feng Mao just because you get to run at him.
Yeah. Exactly. See, holding
Yeah.
W on any character is fun. You love it.
All right, fair enough. Last but not least, Mr. J Pie, what is your favorite matchup to play uh, jungle v jungle?
I don't really have a good answer, so I'm gonna default to Richter into Crunch.
Richter into
Richter
Crunch.
into Crunch.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think that's a pretty valid. I
Yeah, I'm
think
trying to
that's
think.
pretty
I'm
valid.
like trying to think of a game like that. Yeah.
The only thing is if your team sucks, you're fucked.
I would
True.
agree with that. Yeah, that's based.
Yeah.
That's based.
Sounds about
So
right.
I mean, like you got to go into it knowing that, and you know pretty early which it
Yeah.
is. So.
I feel like every time I press
I
the
get what you
Q
mean.
button, that's what the game is for me. My team sucks. I'm fucked.
All right, and then
Yeah.
real quick, Crashy. I know it's a little late. We're almost done with the episode, but could you
Yeah.
raise your volume up a little bit? I
I
already got you.
got you, dude. I got you.
Okay, perfect. I probably should have asked you earlier. I wasn't 100%
That's
sure,
cool.
but
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
all right. But yeah, fun little answer. We get to hear about everybody's favorite matchups, and then I mean, I kind of hit some of them on the spot. They never thought about it before, but they came up with an answer, so that's good. That's good. All right, and then we got a couple more questions, and then I'll try to get some questions from chat for you guys, and then of course, if you guys have anything you want to discuss, you want to bring to the table that wasn't already discussed today, then feel free. But two questions real quick. What do you think about the level of competition in the jungle world right now? And we're gonna start with North.
I think it's decent. I think outside of like the top, I want to say like four-ish teams though. There's not really anybody though.
Okay, fair enough. And then Oasis, what do you think about the current competition in, or the level of competition in the jungle world right now?
Well, I'm not really a comp player, but
I mean,
I
even just
mean,
across the
in terms
board,
of
just general skill level that you see, even if it's just like, even if it's just like a short at the high end or
Mhm.
something like that.
I mean, I don't know, it just feels like every game I can just abuse like some lane that's low elo, and that'll make a bunch of mistakes, and then just win off of that. So I mean, competition. I mean, I don't know. I can't really think of much. I can only think of like a few names that just like send shivers down my spine or something.
Ain't no way. All right, moving on to Mr. JPie. What do you think about the level of competition in the jungle role?
I think it's there's like two aspects to it. One is who is their mid laner, and if they have a weaker mid laner, target their mid laner, because jungle and mid lane help to roam and secure map control. And if they have a weaker mid laner, you can fuck the enemy jungler by focusing on their weaker mid laner, because it's going to just open up the map for the rest of your team. So that's just one aspect that I think of all the roles in the game, jungle and mid lane, they are very symbiotic. They have a very symbiotic relationship, and they depend on each other a lot. And if you're a jungler, you get your job becomes infinitely harder when your mid laner sucks, and vice versa. So definitely, I think that's like a part of, like, if you're a competitive player, see who their mid laner is, and if they're not up to snuff, then just crush them. So that I mean, that's one aspect to it. But regarding like other competitive junglers, just strictly junglers, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to differentiate like who are the superstars. I mean, you basically have some players that when you know they have some characters, they will just completely fuck you. Like six on crunch, that's going to be a nightmare 7 days of the week. There's those kinds of instances. So that's also a factor.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then, last but not least, Mr. Nitro. What do you think about the level of competition in the jungle world, big dog?
Rude.
Oh
I
wait,
think I'll have to agree with.
I thought you already weighed in, Crashy. I swear I thought. Okay, we're gonna go. All right,
No.
Crashy's last. Sorry. Go Nitro, you go, and then Crashy.
Oh, I was gonna say I think I agree with North. There's like top teams, and that's it. Or
Okay.
whatever.
Honestly, sounds about right, to be honest. I mean,
I don't know. There's like 6 people maybe.
not many people like. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I feel like maybe EU might have better jungle mains. I don't know.
I don't even like see people main jungle. People just
That's what I'm
have to play
saying.
it.
I don't see. Yeah, I
It's
never really
actually
see like
such an
mains.
underplayed role. Like it
No,
just
there you go.
it feels like nobody plays the role. So
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is I think you kind of the only way to like truly feel like you can add weight to saying who the top level junglers are is to look at competitive, because it's like anything
Yeah.
else just like doesn't really matter. So like even me like putting my name in the ring as like a top level jungler, it's like even I, who I think I'm really good at the role, I don't really have a lot of ways to put weight behind that. Like yeah, sure I played early competitive, but that doesn't mean fuck all now. And so it's just hard. But the other thing on top of that is it truly is, it feels like no one fucking plays jungle. Like it's just like the least enjoyable role to people, or it's the most intimidating role to people. It may be a combination of the two. Like some people just don't really like put in the time to play it. So I think that actually the role has so much room for people to kind of step up and actually make a name for themselves in the role if they main it and if they want to go in the competitive route. So yeah, I don't know. It does feel like they're like at any given time, and I have to be honest, I don't really pay attention to EU at all. So no offense to them, I just I kind of tend to focus my eyes on NA. It feels like at any given time I can maybe name 5 people. So yeah, it feels like the role is open for people to come in and make a name for themselves, but so is the competitive scene, right? Because we just go through these like rises and falls and pred competitive when it's like relevant versus not relevant.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good answers all across the board. All right. Now to piggyback off of that last question, and we ask this question every week, so uh, do not be afraid to hurt anybody's feelings in this, because anybody that isn't mentioned, just take that as a call to, or that you should be looking to improve, and not as at or as a slight at your player skill. But are there any players that you respect in your role, and if so, who would they be? And we'll start with JPie.
Damn, man, I got the least amount of time to think about this question. Fuck. Um. uh. All right.
You want to pass it? I could take it if you want.
Yeah, we can come
Yeah,
back to you, JPie.
I need a little bit of time. Yeah.
Sure, we can come
Okay,
back to you.
I'll take it because I feel like I actually have like a good answer that just like came to me instantly. So instead of feeling like I have to do the thing where I have to try to show respect to a bunch of people because I don't want to mess up and like hurt people's feelings or whatever, I'm gonna give respect to one person that came to mind instantly. It was always Six. Every time I played
Yeah.
against Six, I used to learn from him watching him play, and that felt new to me because I've just been playing jungle for like 15 years. But I learned a lot about how to play pred jungle from him specifically. Every time I played into him in just like regular matches, I lost. Like it was like an ego humbling moment for me. I just feel like he's super talented. I feel like he's kind of like he has the whole like being a coach for 100 Thieves Apex. I don't know if he still is, but he had that going for him. So there was just kind of like a level of respect that came with like getting to know him in the scene really early on. And then whenever he did step into competitive, he had a really like solid run. And so I don't know. For me personally, I had a lot of admiration for him. I think he's like a really chill person too. When I would watch his streams, I felt like I could learn a lot from him. And yeah, I just think he was like a really phenomenal jungler that I respected
All right.
or have respect for.
So I don't skip anybody. I'm gonna go from top to bottom. So we're still gonna come back to J5 at Nitro. Are there any players that you respect in the jungle role? And if so, who would they be?
You and North, I think, come up to my mind.
Okay, valid. Moving on
That's
to
it.
North. Are there any players that you respect in the jungle role? And if so, who would they be?
I'd say like everybody from like obviously the top 4 teams, like I said. But specifically, I'd say Six. Just as a teammate, he was super fun to play with. Very cool guy, fun to calm with. Always was down to fight, and I think
Yeah.
Nitro specifically, because like his team went through a lot, and I did not think they'd win it, and
Oh
they just
yeah.
kind of turned it all around, like midway through, and started scrimming and grinding, and I thought it was kind of a cool story arc.
Yeah, PCC champion Nitro, baby. Hold on a second. We got a round of applause for the PCC champion.
Those were some good games. Those were some good
Let's
games.
let's
Or
go,
something.
baby. All right, Oasis. Are there any players that you respect in your role? And if so, who?
I mean, it'd have to be obviously Six. I mean, I also watched him quite a bit whenever he was streaming. I was always in there trying to learn anything I could. He's always playing carries too. Like you're never gonna see him play Rampage or anything. Not really tanks. He's just playing Kai, Fengmao, Crunch, obviously. Another one. I have to say, respect on the jungle. I mean, I guess North. I don't really see him on jungle much, to be honest. I mean, if I even see him in casual, he's probably not playing jungle. But if he is, I'll probably be scared if he's on the enemy team. Um, Obviously Nitro as well. I mean, I kind of only saw him in the PCC, but those matches were actually amazing. I mean, that's about it. All I can think of on the top of my head.
Fair enough. Valid, valid. All right, back to J Pie. Are there any players that you respect in your role? And if so, who would they be?
I'm just gonna say you, Gratty. When I first started trying to get good at this game, I played against you a few times, and watching our replays, I learned quite a bit from that. And just honestly, with all of you guys, like I love encountering you guys in games. I haven't really encountered a lot of you guys in competitive, but whenever I encounter you guys in game, I'm thinking to myself, fuck yeah, let's go. I'm ready to go all out, 100% balls to the wall, and I want to destroy your fucking shit. I want to fucking crush
Whoa.
all of you.
Whoa,
but but
hey.
but
So,
but but obviously it goes one way or the other. But it's awesome. It's awesome to play with you guys as a jungle opponent, and it's humbling because I mean, you're when just to fill you in, but queuing up casual, it kind of fucking sucks a lot of the time because it's like you get these games where like, oh, there's an enemy jungler who doesn't know anything, and like it's a free win. But when I encounter one of you guys, it's like I got to be on top of my game, and not only that, my team has to be. So yeah,
I get what you mean.
great, yeah.
And I don't normally answer my questions, but as a jungler, I have a few honorable mentions that I'd like to throw in there. People that are not in this call, but I've played against, and they're either learning or they've improved a lot, and I'm happy to see as a jungler. But Bears, Moo Mews, Mercy, Nugslit, and that's just to name a few. I'm sure if I looked at some of my recent games,
Those
I'll see other people, and I'd be like, holy crap, this guy's kind of nuts too. But just to name just a few of the names of the people that you might see in your games that are pretty solid at jungler, getting better. Maybe they're even nuts and people aren't really talking about them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah. And then of
what
course
there's
the people in this
sorry.
call. There's a reason you guys are in here today. So sharing your knowledge. But that's gonna be all the questions that we have for the day. Now, do you guys have anything that you'd like to bring to the discussion that wasn't already discussed? And for time's sake, let's keep it a little bit short if you want to add anything. Anything you guys want to add? Anything that hasn't been said that you think needs to be said in terms of jungle, especially on the educational side of things? And anything like that?
We didn't really touch on it at all because it just didn't kind of come up in questions. But make sure that if you're like a newer jungler, or I mean, really, if you're any level of play jungler, don't neglect dewarding and warding. Like it's equally an important part of the game. You need to know the important spots. You need to know, when to deward and how to play that level of the game as well. So don't neglect that. Help your teammates with that. Help yourself with that as well.
Anybody else? This is open to the floor is open to all you guys.
I hope you can't see across the map in the jungle just by going in the wall one day.
Would be nice.
True.
Fix
True,
the
true,
fix
true.
the jungle domain and the fog wall, line of sight, and all that stuff. Yeah. I agree. Anything else from anybody else?
What was the question?
Are we coping?
Uh,
Yeah, it sounds
it,
like we're coping. What's happening
Yeah.
here?
oh no,
Is
it's
there just anything to add? Yeah.
anything we
To
didn't
add
talk
about?
Yeah,
about
meet up
tonight that you
between.
think is like pertinent to jungle, the discussion of
Yeah,
jungle, anything
are
like educational.
are your
Uh,
abilities going through jungle minions like Sevarog's Q and Shinbi's Q? That shit pisses me off, man. Omida, what the fuck?
Okay, not stuff like that.
uh,
Not stuff like that. Like on the from an
Okay, sorry.
educational standpoint,
I mean,
anything that we didn't
on
talk
that
about.
Whoops.
subject though, jungle HP bars win.
yes,
Sorry.
True,
yes. That's what
true.
I was just about to say.
Okay, fair,
we
valid.
we
I
we
mean,
do
that's
have
something that you can learn.
we
Like,
do have like a potential, like what could spawn a new version of jungling with the AI changes, because like there could be more leashing and min-maxing your time by pulling the camps in a particular way. So I think while we can't particularly speak on that yet because we haven't seen it, there could be a version of tips and advice for getting into jungling that leans into that. And you should be doing a little bit of that now anyways, right? Kind of like leaning your camps toward the edge, walking them to where you're going, and like just maxing a second here, a second there, and we might see more of that. So we'll see what happens in the future with those changes.
Okay, fair enough. Before we move on, anybody else want to add something real quick?
Yeah, I want to say something because this shit pisses me off. Okay, So I've been a Sevarog jungler since the fucking very beginning. And let me tell you, before these recent jungle changes, nobody gave a flying fuck about Sevarog jungle. Nobody saw him as a threat. Nobody cared. I played 2 competitive matches. And by competitive matches, I mean 5v5 on Discord and having comms as Sevarog jungle. And my team managed to win those 2 games. It was very close, though. Very, very close. Now, these jungle changes occurred that just allowed not only Sevarog, but every single jungler way faster clear, experience gold, etc. And people started complaining about Sevarog. And for me as a Sevarog main, it pissed me off because it was like previously you had to work really fucking hard in the game in order to make Sevarog jungle work. It wasn't easy at all. And these jungle changes they made recently made it easier in every single way, shape, and form. And for me, I'm thinking that this, like me personally, I think this is bad for the game because these jungle changes. I don't like the state of jungle right now. Truthfully, I dislike it, and I feel like that there needs to be more distance. There needs to be more distance between the camps because right now, so you think about it like this way. So Sevarog, he's able to get his engine going quicker, but so does every single other fucking character in the game, especially Seraph and Kalari and these other assassin characters. It's insane. It's insane. These jungle changes fucking suck. They're trash. I'm sorry.
I like them a lot.
I like farming meta. What do you mean?
Yeah,
It
I
opens
like
up so many characters. It's because, well, I mean, I say that as I play Kai, but like more characters are. It feels like more characters are viable. They get online earlier. They can actually do something. They feel like they feel like they can impact, I don't know, a lane faster, right? When they want to. I don't know.
I will
Or
say
just AFK farm.
I do agree on the sentiment of like the camps are too small or like too close together, but I think that's like, you know, we've the community's been pretty outspoken about like changes we'd like to see to the map. Like this is no different than that, right? Like I would like to see camps spread out more. I'd like to see the map bigger. I mean, again, I'm not here to talk about this too much, but I've been playing a lot of Overprime lately. I really like the jungle out on that. There's a lot of camps. They're kind of like all over the map. It feels really, really nice. So yeah, I would definitely like to kind of at least agree with that point where like I would love to see like substantial jungle changes or map changes in general that could also tie into this part of the discussion.
All right. Valid, valid. Well, now we're through the questions, we're through the discussion. Let's start jumping into some of the questions from the chat. Chat has some questions that they would like to get answered by you guys. So first one I want to start with comes from a medkit. You guys saw his memes.
Oh.
He wants to know which meme did you guys like the most out of all of them?
God.
I have to remember them. I like the.
Actually,
I'm
you know what? The
I'm
Gratty
a
one.
big.
I know which one. The Gratty one, the Pokemon one. Whatever. Yeah,
I'm
he's
a
taking a
really
picture
big.
of you just farming.
I'm a
I
really
like that
big
one.
DC Comics fan, so I liked the Flash and Superman one. Like that one. That one did it for me.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Anybody else have a meme they saw that they liked that a medkit made that was in the pre-roll slideshow?
I gotta go back and look at them.
All right, we have another question as well from Big Z, and he asks, "How would you change the jungle if you're going to make the lanes further apart? Would you add a buff or a camp?" And that is open discussion.
Probably add a camp. Yeah, like if you can add, so that's the fun thing about jungles that are big. Like if you add more camps, it gives you like it doesn't necessarily mean you have to add more experience and more gold. You can spread it out and rebalance that. But if you add more camps, it gives you more opportunities to have the player make decisions about if they're going to take all the camps, if they're going to skip camps, what kind of pathing they're going to take. So yeah, I would add more camps.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Oh, you
to,
go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry to add on that. I really like League of Legends River Camp where they have that. It's like the scuttlebug where when you kill it, it drops a ward for a period of time. And because of how shit predecessors wards are, I think that would be amazing. Like put them in the fucking river. I mean the map is too small for them, truthfully, but still something like that would be cool.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
I think yeah, to take away from League, just different types of camps, like more dynamic camps, and more camps. Just like Crashy said, to encourage more decisions. I think we'll see more of a skill gap with the like what was it, the camp pulling thing they said they're gonna add. So I'm excited for that.
Valid, valid. All right. Any other questions, real quick, from the chat? Any non-quote troll questions? Anything that you actually? Oh, audio's messing up. All right.
Something's, yeah,
Let me fix that for you guys. Give me a second.
someone's
I'm
dying.
sorry. All right. Are you good? Hello, hello. Is my mic
I think
working?
sign would
Okay.
be.
My team, it's
Yeah,
There we go.
science
Yeah,
OP
I
as
was
fuck.
gonna say.
Yeah,
There we
Not as
go.
much
sign
as I
is
would like
smooth.
want to. But yeah, I mean, your dusk side, you full clear grab that sign buff. I mean, you're just good. I think it's
We
Like
all
I
good
good.
think
now?
fourth iron is super strong early just because you can like Soul Lane is like it's super snowball, right? Like so even like tiny like a bunch of minions missed or like a wave or like a forced back, then you can just default to Cyan and take that and just leave.
Yeah.
All right. Is audio good, everybody? Audio sound fine now? Apparently my audio is exploding. All right. I think we're good now. All right. Bry asks, are 3 camps worth skipping? I know Gratty said they are worth skipping. What do you guys think?
The 3 camp.
Yep.
I mean,
Um,
they feel
depends
useless,
what
but
you
I
do.
mean,
Sometimes.
if you have if you have Wild Hunt, I feel like you don't really need it anymore. You can just give it to your offlaner.
I mean it depends
Yeah.
what stage of the game is. I think both outers you can skip, but like if you skip one, you have to take the other.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like super circumstantial things. Like if I can guarantee farm in the enemy jungler, then yeah, I'll skip it. You know what I mean? Early on, like I think you should be taking the majority of your farm, and just like ride off of that. So yes and no.
All right. Fair enough. Anybody else want to add to that? Their opinion on 3 camp, if it's worth skipping or if it's not worth skipping?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Every now and then.
To take it or to
Not
skip
really.
it?
Oh, let's skip it.
Both.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's
works
just
both
kind of,
ways.
it's probably just one of those camps that's just like over there, right? Like, do you have time?
Uh,
Not really? Who
Yeah, I mean
cares?
if it's
I don't.
convenient, you take it. If not, like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care about any camps except for the middle ones,
True
like two
Winners.
internals.
camp
Yeah.
and 5.
That's one thing we actually didn't really talk about. So
Okay.
yeah, just to touch on that, internals are your XP camps and externals are
Yep.
your gold camps. And that's actually not something that is universally known. So that's actually
And
something maybe should touch on.
actually, while we're on the topic of it, I would just like to throw in it because I like to think that maybe like new junglers could will actually watch this and learn something from it. Make sure you're like backing at adequate power spikes if you can. Like don't back and you're like 50 or like 150 gold short of like something you could have just farmed for and then gotten the spike and then went back, right? Like so like pay attention to your gold, your econ. Like it's really not something we touched on at all, but like that's kind of MOBA in general. So it's easy to skip over when you're having discussions like this that are more targeted. But like yeah, like pay attention to your power spikes, know your power spikes depending on the certain hero that you're going with and your itemization. So try to pay attention to that in your games.
All right. Anybody else want to weigh in before we move on to the next question? All right. So El Hamon Jr. in chat asks, and this one's gonna be a hard one to answer because there's a lot of different answers for this one, but he says, I feel like I'm constantly, or how do you guys find a balance between ganking and farming? I feel like I'm constantly farming a buff or camp and my lane starts a fight and I'm not sure to rotate. And this is open to everybody.
I mean, if you're talking about during a fight, I mean, I feel like it would depend on if you know for a fact that you're gonna like create an impact in that fight. If you know for a fact that if you show up you'll just win, then I feel like it's smart to just get off the buff and actually go and fight.
Yeah, I mean usually
Otherwise,
when you're walking to one side of the map, you can like just gauge the lane state. Like, are they pushed up? What are the HP bars? Are they trading aggressively? What are their score lines? What abilities have been used? And you can just like kind of keep looking over while you're hitting the camp. And I mean, you can drop it if you really need to, or you can just skip a camp and walk over.
I think the best way to summarize what North just said is like you should be planning whether or not the lane that you're pathing towards in your jungle is gankable early. So like if I'm like say I'm leaving my red side, I'm going to my blue side. I'm going to be looking at the 3 camps ahead of me, but while I'm looking at the first of those 3 camps ahead of me, I'm also paying attention to the off lane or the duo lane. You know what I mean? I'm also paying attention to that side lane saying like, is he pushing up right now? Is his health high enough? You know, what is the matchup? How's he been doing this whole game? So you need to be assessing like how your pathing is looking going into the lane that's ahead of you, and then like by the time you're on that second camp, you should already like start to have like that judgment. Like, okay, I'm on my blue buff or I'm on my red buff. Like, can I go gank now? Like, is that opportunity there? And you'll get that with experience. Or you know, okay, let me go ahead and finish this, then I can go over there. Or you get to your third camp and you're like, there ain't shit here. I'm gonna clear my third camp and go somewhere else. So just start like always try to plan ahead if you can.
Valid.
So yeah, to build on top of that, you should press tab, look at the people who are fighting and their items and their kills and deaths, because if you have a dual lane that is significantly behind, then you'll know that they're going to lose that fight and you can act accordingly, because it boils down to like, I'm farming these camps right now, what's worth it more for me as a jungler, helping my team out or just getting this farm? And it just boils down to kind of like, if your team's going to win, then you just want to be farming because you're getting ahead. But if your team's going to lose, then it's better that they survive, and then you just try to, you know, collect that farm as quickly as you can.
Valid, valid. All right, anybody else want to weigh in real quick before I move on? I got one more chat question. This one's actually kind of funny, so. All right, nobody. All right, cool. So I normally don't ask these because it's kind of memey, but it's also kind of not. It's kind of funny. I'll give it to him. So I'm gonna ask this one about or from Ooga Booga XD, aka Natty, and this goes out to everybody in here. So how is the jungle role so OP and you all are so useless? Thoughts,
Because
boys?
the carry
I don't
roll is
know, bro.
fucking broken.
How does my carry have 6 kills and do no damage? Put a pussy on fucking smiting your gold buff in your cannon and taking your wave.
You guys can feel free to add in your answers if you'd like to. Go ahead.
My answer is literally because like the game is determined by which carry is better. Like I don't know. Like I get fed some games and I'm just like, oh, my carry's ass. Like GG.
True, true. If we lose this night jungle gap, it's duo gap or offlane gap.
True.
That is kind of true. It's a side lane gap.
All right, we need the PCC champ answer. Why are you so useless but you farm so much?
To get my team ahead, obviously.
Boy.
All right. Well, that was kind of funny. Thanks, Nettie,
Make
for
it
the
make sense.
question. But that's gonna be it for the show for this week, episode 4, Jungle. Thanks everybody for coming on the show. I'll give you guys a brief moment. I'll go down the list, give you guys time to shout anything out, and then anything you want me to include in the YouTube video after in the description. Just let me know like, any shout outs that you want to have. But yeah, feel free to shout out socials, YouTube, Twitch channel, whatever whatever it is you want to shout out. Starting with Mr. J Pie. Go ahead, this is your time. What would you like to shout out, buddy?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, the JPie, on Twitch, just JPie, and on YouTube. I was not able to secure my fucking link, so just what if you can find it, God bless you. And that's that.
All right, Crashy, any shout outs?
Yeah, no personal shout outs for me, but I do want to go ahead and shout out the panel of awesome players and yourself for throwing this on. Shout out to the community. I know that I'm, you know, kind of an asshole, but I really do care about the game and care about the community and want to see the game thrive. You know, I'm not gone, just kind of taking a little break. And I love the game, love you guys, appreciate everything that everybody does, whether you're playing the game, making content, competing, whatever you're doing. We appreciate it.
All right, Nitro, any shout outs?
Nah.
Nah, no shout outs.
I'm just
Okay.
here.
Okay. North, any shout outs?
Uh, shout out Gratty for having me on, I guess. That's it.
You're so corny, bro. All right, and then Oasis, any shout outs from you, big dog?
No, I got nothing.
All right,
Got
nothing. All right, last but not least, our beautiful, handsome co-host F6. Any shout outs you want to give, homie, before we're out of here?
Sign up for PCC 6. That's all I got.
Oh, PCC 6
True.
around the corner. Don't forget.
Oh
Especially
my
if you
gosh.
up and coming whatever role you're gonna be. You got some boys. You got a team you want to play with. PCC 6 around the corner. I want to see more people playing this time. Hope the level of competition goes up, not down, or stays lateral. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks everybody. Thanks JPie. Thanks Crashy. Thanks Nitro. Thanks North. Thanks Oasis. And Mr. Handsome, I'll kiss you on the mouth F6. Thank you guys
Huh?
for whoa 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 whoa.
Why is
Thanks everybody for coming on the show. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Thank you for giving me, an hour and a half of your time. You guys are awesome. So I appreciate all you guys.
I appreciate
Have a good night. Have a good night. All right, that's it for episode 4 of Chatty Gratty. Episode 4 Jungle. I can't talk. It's the episode's been long. All the episodes are so long. I start losing my mind towards the end of them. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys today, guys. Who's meowing? Oh, that was Nitro. Nitro's meowing, of course. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys. The next episode is going to be episode 5 Offlane. So if you guys are looking forward to the offlaners, I don't have the lineup yet, but I'm working on it. But yeah, that will not be next week. Next week I will not be here. So my episode is going to be delayed by a week. Yeah, one person I do have confirmed so far is in chat right now. Joe, yours truly, 100% confirmed. JYT will be there. So if you guys love Joey, make sure you guys pull up for the offlane episode. We're going to have some other people there as well. So, but yeah, once again, thanks everybody for pulling up. We're 4 episodes deep. I hope each episode is getting better. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube tomorrow. I have this on Spotify as well right now. If you hit exclamation chatty in the chat, you'll see the Spotify link in case you want to listen on Spotify to this episode or any of the previous episodes and any of the future